Hi, my name's Ruth. Today we will be going over how to do a spinning name keychain where you have your name in the middle and the keychain will spin the centerpiece. So over here you can see this is sort of what we want it to look like at the end. So I'm just going to grab that and move it over here. So we're going to go over and we're going to start with our name. We're going to hit text, put it over here, and then over at this drop down menu where it says text, you can type. So I'm going to write my name. And it has a multiple language thing for the fonts. You can change different things. Sorry, everyone. This is Apollo. Everyone say hi, Apollo. He's very cute. Bye, Apollo. But if I zoom in, you can play around with these. Like this makes it thicker. So like you could have really big box letters. Those are segments, and then there's height. So this is actually a good height to have it at, so you can leave the height and everything else. So then we're going to go ahead and we're going to get this. Actually, we'll go ahead and we'll get the oval, the Torres. And we're just going to set it on the plate down here so that we can expand it. So there's a little black square down here. I'm going to click that and drag to make it, you want it to be much longer than your shape. So I'm just going to continue dragging. So that's a pretty good length. And then I'm going to change the width. And there are a bunch of different ways you can do this. So I'm just going to slowly increase here. Okay. So important things to go over for this design are that if you look at these two corner points where the top of the R and then the oval are, you don't want those to touch, because if it touches or is too close, it won't spin. And that's the same thing down here and over by the H. So you just want to make sure there's enough clearance, because when things rotate, you just want to make sure that it doesn't butt up against the orange piece, that it is free moving completely. I'm also going to make this orange piece a little bit taller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag down to here. I'm going to grab this white piece. I'm just going to expand it a little bit, and then I'm going to grab this black arrow up here and I'm going to drag it down a little bit. That way we have more room for our cylinder that we're going to put in there. So we're going to take a cylinder, just a regular cylinder. And we're going to come back to the side. And then I'm going to grab, it's hard to see. Hold on, let me come to, oh, buddy, you gotta get down. Come on. Come on. So if we go over here and then you want to drag it to the 90-degree mark. And then I'll go back here. So from the top view, you want to grab, very similar to how we did the orange shape, you just want to grab that piece, that little black square. I'll drag it to about there. We're going to resize this, but I just wanted to show you, you want it to be similar to this, where it overlaps with the oval a little bit, about halfway. So I'm just going to rotate over. And the way I rotate is by using right clicking on a mouse. There are other ways you can do it. You can use this cube. Sorry. You can use this cube up here. But there are different ways you can do that. And I'm just going to bring this in and this down. Yeah, so I was gonna say, I think that changed this side a little bit, so I'm just gonna pull this out. And then if we put this over, you can see that it might not be long enough. If you rotate to the bottom, you can see a little bit easier, but you see this little dashed line, that is where your shape ends. So my shape is not long enough, so I'm just going to grab this black square and I'm going to pull it out, because you want it to be at least halfway into this shape. So now you can see it's about halfway through that piece. And then I'm going to click up to the front. And what we're going to do is we're going to take this shape and we're going to go up and we're going to duplicate. And then we're going to drag it down. And we're going to come back to it. It's important, we're just coming back to it. And Apollo keeps trying to jump on top of me. So when we have this shape, once we duplicate it and drag it down, we're gonna take this shape, just click on this cylinder, and there's a drop down, and we're gonna go over to hole. Once you hit the hole button, that's what creates that hole in the orange piece and through our name, which is okay because I'll show you how that all gets put together in a minute. So what we're going to do is we are going to take this orange piece, we're going to drag it right back around here, and it doesn't have to be perfect because we're going to alter the size a little bit. So we're going to like it like that. So what we're going to do is, one, you want to make sure that it's pretty equal on both sides, even though you're going to change the length in a minute. So you do want to bring it in and bring it down. So like I grabbed this corner and we started about here, and I just went down and then up a little bit to make it smaller. And you'll know I have to make, so here's how we go over if it'll work. So you know you're in a good area if you see this shaded piece, how the grid is shaded. That's where the original cylinder was. So the original cylinder was there, and then the cylinder is currently in hole mode, so that's why it has that hue. This cylinder is perfectly fine, it's just where it is right now. But you want it to be in between this shaded area. That's how you know it won't be touching like the the wall of the oval. And then you want to make this, I'm going to make this a little bit longer. This part right here where you change the length, a lot of times that can be trial and error because sometimes it's just not perfect. But the main thing is that you can click on the cylinder and then you can click here and I messed up the wrong thing. Okay. I'm gonna hide that so I can reach this. So if you have problems where you have that whole shape and it won't let you click through, you can click this little light bulb piece and that'll let you hide it, and then I'll go back and show you how to unhide it. But you have to make this a little bit longer. So for like from a math standpoint, if you want the hole to be like a half, like to meet up around the halfway mark of this area, you want the real cylinder to be like a a, a fourth, yeah, a fourth. So let me make this one a little bit longer as well. And then we'll look at the height. I'm going to make it a little bit shorter, so I'm going to go to the center of this cylinder and grab the white piece and drag it down just a little bit. Alright, now that we have that, that's the main shape. I'm going to go up to this light bulb, click it, and it puts back that cylinder where it holds. And one of the harder things about this is that you have to make sure that the inner cylinder is not touching this outer piece at all. So I'm going to go here, hide it, click this, and then just bring it up a little bit, like one, it should be like one click. It should automatically do that. And now you can see that there's plenty of space on all sides for it to rotate. So then we're going to click the whole cylinder, hold down shift and click this oval, and we're going to go up to the group button and we're going to hit group, and that'll put the hole only through the orange oval. And that leaves our text perfectly fine. And the other thing about text is that you don't just have to do your name. Like you could do like a saying or another word, because you can make it like smaller. You can play around with it. Another thing at the end I'll show you is that we can put another shape on the inside too, if you want your text to have like a background and not to be standalone. So the last piece is pretty simple. It's more about just preference. So we need another one of these cylinders. So I'm going to rotate over, and right where it is right now, if you look, it's pretty even with the shape. I'm going to bring it down all the way so that it's connected at the bottom. So doing that, I just use this black arrow. And then another thing I'm going to do is wall thickness, I'm going to raise that a little bit just to make that piece a little thicker. And then that's basically it. We're going to go ahead and group everything. I'm going to not group my name piece right now just so I can show you guys what else. So we can take this. So this is just another cylinder piece, and to scale it I'm using Shift S and then clicking, and that helps you have a uniform scale if you've had any problems with that. And then I'm going to turn and bring this down underneath my name. And then you have like a little plate that you can have your name sticking out of more just by playing around with the heights and whatnot. Um, the nice thing about, I'm gonna remove this, but the nice thing about this is then you're all done. You can make it whatever color you want. So like I'll make it dark purple. It's also a lot of fun if you manufacture them, if you 3D print them. Um, they're cute things because you can have them say whatever you want. You can make them for your friends. But yeah, that is how you get a spinning name keychain. And that is just the base. So like I said, like you can add designs around this keychain piece if you want. Like if you want to, like if you want to have this and then to have like little circle pieces rotating all around, you could do that. You could do the same thing with like the star, have like different things coming off of it. There's tons of ways where you can play around and expand off of this one idea, and that's why I like it so much. So, thank you.